1, 2, 3.
Good morning.
Good morning.
First, let me congratulate you and thank you for getting up this morning, getting here. And I'm looking across the room and I see some of those people that were partying last night. But you managed to get here. Give yourselves a big round of applause. Thank you. And I want our panelists to note that we have a lot of young people in the room this morning. Isn't that wonderful? Thank you so very much. So I want to welcome you all to this important discussion on the intersection of Black business, Black banks, and access to credit for our community. This is a critical time to focus on Black wealth and wealth building opportunities. Racial wealth gap has roots as old as the founding of this nation. Black families were intentionally shut out of wealth building opportunities by our own American government. Even after Congress passed laws to end redlining, discrimination in lending, and other practices, our communities were still targeted for unsavory, immoral, and borderline illegal financial products and services that have stripped millions in wealth from us and our communities. For example, in the lead up to the Great Recession of 2008, Black communities were specifically targeted by predatory lenders and tricked into toxic and unsustainable loan products, including subprime loans. Studies have shown that Black households were given bad loans even when they qualified for more stable mortgage loans. The economic results of this fraud were nothing less than devastating for Black communities all across the country. Foreclosures swept through Black communities and Black homeowners. Many of them, first-time home buyers, found themselves losing their homes and the wealth that they had accumulated within it. And now, over 10 years later, our families are still struggling to recover and rebuild from this crisis. This is all made worse by the fact that discrimination against Black businesses, workers, and prospective homeowners is still not a thing of the past. Black Americans continue to face redlining, unjustified personal and business loan rejections, and are paid less than white counterparts due to the projected growth of Black minority households. In the coming decades and the economic importance of the housing market, some analysts have argued that a failure to address the gap in minority home ownership and the corresponding wealth gap is not only a major civil rights issue, it is a threat to our children's future economic security. We need someone to stand up for us and to provide the access to credit that will allow our families to put a dent in the wealth gap. That's where Black-owned banks and Black leaders in the business community come in. Black-owned banks are at the forefront of providing safe and sustainable credit to our communities. Black-owned banks are also leading the path in extending other sources of credit to Black households, including loans to start a business or to help struggling families cover unexpected expenses. Black-owned banks serve as a safe and sustainable alternative to predatory lenders, such as the many payday and car title lenders that so often establish their businesses in Black communities. Unfortunately, the number of Black-owned banks has declined drastically over the years, and more continue to shut their doors due to a lack of financial support. Today, there are only about 19 or 20 Black-owned banks in the United States. It is of the utmost importance to support these institutions because when Black-owned banks close their doors, the community that they serve suffer. I'm happy to report that now that I have the gavel, I hope, and I want to make it a new day. The Committee on Financial Services. The Committee on Financial Services is getting back to the business of protecting consumers and ensuring that there are fair opportunities in our financial system. Not only are we exploring new ways to address wealth building and access to credit through our hearings and legislation addressing minority home ownership and wealth building, but we're pushing for much needed diversity in all financial spaces. Our newly created Diversity and Inclusion Subcommittee, chaired by my friend, Representative Joyce Beatty of Ohio, is putting businesses and financial institutions to the task of not only hiring more people of color, but also including them in the boardrooms and in major business decision-making. We're looking to open opportunities in the entire industry. Black entrepreneurs are also leading the path to address wealth building in our community. These leaders, including those sitting on this panel that we have today, are not only building their own business empires, but they're also using their power to open doors for those who would come after them. As Black representation in boardrooms continues to needlessly lag, these lenders in business are a true testament to ensuring more representation, more seats at the table for Black Americans. Today, we're going to hear from representatives of our nation's largest Black banks and one of our country's top Black business leaders who can talk to us about more how this is an important issue. So, on that note, I'd like to just start to introduce our panel. Let me start with our bank CEOs, who I'd like to have address lending in our communities and how communities can help keep our banks afloat. Let me start with Ms. Cynthia Day. She is the president and CEO of Citizens Bank. She is the first permanently named female CEO in the company's history, with a career that spans over 25 years in the banking and finance industries. Service is at the heart of everything she represents and has been rightfully honored with several leadership and service awards. She's a native of Fayette, Alabama, and a graduate of the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Ms. Day received a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration with a major in accounting. Give her a round of applause. Next, we have Joe Haskins. He's the chairman and president and CEO of Harbor Bank of Maryland, which was recognized by Black Enterprise magazine. Mr. Haskins has received numerous awards and honors, including Entrepreneur of the Year by international accounting firm Ernst & Young. He is currently holding a BA in economics from Morgan State University, an MBA in finance from New York University, a Master of Liberal Arts with a concentration in economics from Johns Hopkins University, and an advanced banking certificate from the University of Pennsylvania's Wharton School of Business. And then there's Mr. Doyle Mitchell. He is the CEO of Industrial Bank, which was also recognized in Black Enterprise magazine 100. He was on the 100th list of 2019. Mr. Mitchell is the third generation president, young people, president of Industrial Bank, which was founded by his grandfather, Jesse H. Mitchell, in 1934. After receiving his bachelor's degree in economics from Rutgers University in 1984, he began a full-time career at Industrial. Mr. Mitchell believes Industrial Bank has remained strong because of its mission to promote the financial and economic empowerment of its diverse communities. Please. And then, of course, here is my dear friend Terri Williams. She is the president and CEO of OneUnitedBank. She is responsible for the bank's strategic initiatives as well as the day-to-day operations, including all retail branches, marketing, compliance, lending, information technology, customer support, legal, and human resources. Ms. Williams brings 30 years of financial services expertise, including Bank of America and American Express, where she was one of the youngest vice presidents. Ms. Williams holds an MBA with honors from Harvard University and a BA with distinction in economics from Brown University. And so, I'd like you to give her a big welcome. On the business side, I would like to introduce Ulysses Jr. Bridgeman, retired MBA player and entrepreneur, who is the CEO of Bridgeman Foods, LLC, and Chief Executive Officer of Heartline Coca-Cola Bottling Company, LLC. Mr. Bridgeman has successfully owned over 450 restaurants in 20 states. His outstanding work has resulted in various prestigious awards over the years. Mr. Bridgeman attended the University of Louisville, where he graduated in 1975 with a Bachelor of Arts degree in psychology. Mr. Bridgeman played professional basketball with the Milwaukee Bucks and the Los Angeles Clippers. Please give a big round of applause to our entire panel. And so we're going to start this morning by raising a few questions that we've